What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday night and welcome back to Pop Force One. I see we got some great people already in the chat. We got some hot topics to talk about. The future of Funko collecting may be taking yet another turn. Will it be for the better or for the worse? We're going to break that down and talk more about that tonight. But first, let's see who's in the chat. We got Cross Saved in here. What's up, Brian? Hope all is well. I am Velvet. I know, crazy to believe, but yeah, we are here. We are on time. Great to see you as always. We got Ace coming in. What's going on, Colin? Great to see you. We got Travis in the house. What's up, Travis? Hope all is well, man. Dave, happy PFO Thursday. Happy PFO Thursday to you as well, Dave. Susan is here. We got Roby-Wan in the house. Pipsqueak in the building. Jetman. Holy smokes, man. Sam creeping up on that 3-year mark, 35 months now. He says, good evening, all. Don't forget, guys, if you are a channel member, you get your 1 free anniversary super chat. Feel free to use that. We got Holly in the house. Evelyn is here. What's up, Evelyn? Let's see who else is in here. Chat is flying. Michelle, another amazing channel member in the building. Dunks Domain, what's going on? You were lucky enough to snag one of those spider cats for your collection. Very nice. I am super stoked for you. Oh, here we go. We got some more channel member shout outs here. Barry clocking in at that 2-year mark. Thank you so much, Barry. 24 months of support. That is incredible. Magma coming in. He says, happy PFO. No more NFTs. I'm not so sure about that. Well, we're going to talk about that tonight. Thank you so much for over 3 years of dedication and support to the channel. Thank you so much, Mark. Truly appreciate you. What's going on? Funko 411, Blackbeard Actual. Daft Punk is in the building. What's up, King of Funko? We got another channel member shout out here. Can't pass up the free super chat. Absolutely. 41 months. Look at that. Professor Josh. 41 months. Cannot wait for today's topics. What's up, Gus? Great to see you. I know a lot of people are nervous about the future of NFTs, but I do have some good news to share with everybody regarding that. So hopefully that will put a lot of people's minds at ease. What's up, Pop Stop? Great to see you. And we're waiting for Vince to figure out his internet situation. But we are going to bring in Professor Josh, who is ready to rock and roll. Oh, King of Funko, thank you so much. You got the you're on the website. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. We got Professor Josh in the house. He's ready to go, and it looks like Vince. Are you good? Vince, are we trying? I think he's all right. We got the thumbs up from Vince. Okay, perfect. So full trio is here.
As long as it's not stuck with the thumbs up like the rest of the night.
Am I frozen now?
No, you're good, Vince. You're good.
What's up, everyone? Welcome. Happy Thursday.
Yes.
How's the week treating you guys?
Did you guys miss me last week? Did you guys miss me? Did everyone miss me?
We did.
I mean, I'm sure people were crying and sad I wasn't here and all that stuff. But
everybody wanted to hear the final total for the charity.
Yeah, so I think we're about at that. So we'll be announcing that now. Waiting for all the whatnot process to go through and finish up. And but we did get a cool announcement like yesterday. I think I got it yesterday or earlier today that we got the extra $500 bonus. So we got a $500 bonus. We didn't get the $1,000 bonus, but we got second place for the $500 bonus for getting. We have over $5,000 from Rally and Raise alone, not including what we got. But we had the second most individual donations on the website for Rally and Raise. So we got a bonus $500 to add to that. So a bonus is good bonus,
It's a heck of a good bonus.
Yeah.
I agree. Lots of legends in the chat for sure. And King of Funko, you're not the only one. A lot of us are waiting around. I thought the NYCC exclusives were going to be revealed by now. A couple of people were saying they were going to be revealed this week, but so far nothing.
Maybe they'll tease like 1 or 2 at a time. Maybe they'll just like kind of throw them out there. I don't know. I think by next week we'll have something to talk about. I think.
Yeah, they've done it different. It seems like every year for the last 3 years we've gotten different reveals.
Sometimes 1 a day or 2 a day, and then sometimes all at once. Everything.
Yeah,
all at one day.
I've seen it all.
I always think earlier is better, so it allows people to plan, budget, figure out what they want, what they don't want.
And throw some surprises maybe in there closer too. You never know. You're like, hey, here's a limited 1,200 piece we're going to throw in there. Yeah. Surprise.
Oh God, let's just not even pretend. That's the worst possible statement you could absolutely say. But no, congratulations, Josh, on a very successful charity event. I'm sure when you do get that final number, it's going to be super impressive. And congrats on that $500 bonus. That's amazing.
I know. It's always nice. So I appreciate everyone that made some individual donations there. Everyone that came over and supported, everyone that sent something, everyone that did that. It means a lot, and it'll mean a lot to a lot of the veterans that it'll continue to help year after year. Like, that's the cool thing about it. It's not just going to help them this year. Every year, it's going to give to a veteran, and so it's cool.
So I guess we'll jump into the first topic of conversation, because I know it's on the forefront of a lot of people's minds, and I know a lot of people are nervous because of some news sources that are putting out some information this week. So NFTs, I see everybody is panicking about NFTs. So what do you guys think regarding the drop situation that we have unfolding before us?
John, I think they're gone. So you tell me what you know.
Oh, really? Oh, you do think they're gone?
I do think that, yeah, I think that because of the amount forget, well, let's put it this way. We got a cryptic message, not cryptic. They canceled season 3. Like, if they're going to continue NFTs, why would they cancel season 3? I don't see what, you know what I'm saying? It seems kind of weird to me that they would kind of change mid-course and cancel the season 3 of the Drop Arcade. And then we've got no announcements, and we've been very light on announcements over the last, last couple months or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like they're gone. So if you know something different, we're gonna find a different perspective out tonight.
I do have something different to bring to the table. What do you got, Josh?
I mean, I think you all can blame me. They just watched my video and they saw the cost comparison and they decided to go one way or another. I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. Like, I kind of saw something going on. Like, the slowdown of them was a big thing over the last year.
Right.
Like, over the last year, they've really slowed down. That's a big factor. I think also, I still don't like, they haven't come out and said much at all. Like, they're not very open, and that's not good, because this is a lot of people's money tied up into a cryptocurrency NFT digital side. So that's not good, because there's a lot of money in there.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, and a lot of people selling, dropping. One thing that did happen was it did cause prices to start raising, which I don't know if that's one thing you can think about too, is if you look at it, prices are starting to raise on the things that are currently on the marketplace for sale. I saw that big jump. Like, great example, the Grail for Disney was about 105 probably a week ago, and packs were about $32, maybe 30, and then they climbed up to earlier this week. I saw it going for like 140, 150 for the Grail, and then other things were going, like the legendaries were going for $40 around, and then packs were going for about $37 to $40 for Disney alone. Like, not just looking at the other ones. You saw some of the other ones climb back up too. So you're seeing a lot of like climb in value, because people are like, first they might have money already there, or they might be selling some.
Yeah, they want to get rid of the money they've already got invested in.
They might have some money already in USDC and things like that. And they might also, I mean, you can get that out. So if you have money in USDC, you can get that out. But you might also have like packs that you're selling, and then you're just buying a Grail or buying something you want instead of keeping the packs or opening the packs. I don't know how you can do that. I would just want to open the packs if I had them. But at that point, but it was, those kind of things are happening. I think it's just in the weird cryptic like message, and it happened, interesting enough, during like I was on Sully's Tuesday, NFT Tuesday Twitch stream, and it happened during that time that message went out. And it just, I think a lot of people like were like, oh, well, that's clear now. Like, they're not going to send a clear message, but when you cancel season 3, Like, is that a clear message? Because they're really wanting people to burn. Like, are they telling them you better burn what you don't want by the end? Like, if you want to, like I didn't think season 2 would go over 80,000 points, and now I'm thinking it's going to be more like 180,000 points, or maybe 150,000 points for 333. But I see it being higher because people are just like, well, it's over. I just want to burn, If there's no more contests, there are no more drop arcade, things like that, then they're like, well, I just kind of want to burn some of my stuff before I can't use them.
Yeah. Well, I would like to hear what John has to say. What are you going to add to?
So
to the
I
mix
did
here?
I did some research this week, and I find it hard to believe that they would end NFTs because
I do too, but
just from the grand scheme of things, from people we've talked to, my best guess with everything going on is that the CEO has paused NFTs right now so he can fully understand the business, fully understand how this is going to affect, because even though a lot of it's virtual with the blockchain and everything, there are some costs associated with it that it sounds like are being analyzed at Funko. But the reason I don't think they're going away is because it is one of Funko's most profitable ventures with everything they have going on. They have plenty of things that are not making them money, but they do have a lot of money that they get from NFTs.
is it profitable?
We don't know if it's profitable. We don't know if they're making a profit off it or if it costs them, like, especially this past year with having only a drop a month. That means the employees are still hired. The employees are still there. So they're making less per month by having less drops, right?
Well, there's two factors that we know they're profitable. First off, it was cited in their 2024
That's
analysis
what I was asking.
report. Yeah, it was. We don't know the percentage of what their profit margins are, but it was cited as being one of their more profitable areas.
Okay.
And then the other reason, shoot, I just had it on tip of my tongue. I'll remember. But there was another. We have another clear piece of evidence to where it's profitable. But from one of the other people that we spoke to that knows somebody at Drop, they said they're investigating and they really want to iron out all of these quality control issues, and that's apparently why they slowed down on the releases. Oh, the other thing. Okay, so this is the other reason why it's profitable for Funko. So Funko has the most licenses in the world of any company. And one of the things that NFTs give them is it is a means to appease their license agreements with all these IPs. So for instance, when they drop the Marvel NFTs, that alleviates them from then having to drop another Marvel wave to continue. I'm just using Marvel as a hypothetical. It allows them to, maintain that license and all the requirements for that license and putting out the NFTs at the same time. Whereas if they didn't put out the Marvel NFTs, then they would have gotten with the Marvel team over at Disney and said, hey, what do we have to put out? What's your upcoming project? Secret Wars, Doomsday. What are we looking ahead to put out pops for? Which they're probably still going to put out pops for like the main Marvel lines anyway, but maybe they didn't put out a smaller project and instead they said, hey, we're going to do the Marvel NFTs and we're good there because then the IP still makes money off the licensing.
I will say one thing to think about too is Drop Arcade was always beta. Never it always said beta on it. Like if you looked at it, it said beta. So it was always just being tested. Now, I don't know why it would make sense to kind of stop it unless the problem was like if you stop everything right now, this is the timeline. Everything ends in January potentially. So Disney villains right now. If you stop at Disney villains, maybe we get an announcement tomorrow. Who knows? That'll throw everyone for a loop. I'd love to see that. But imagine Disney villains ends in December with a snapshot. Selling of it ends then in January, like mid-January. That means at that time you still have to get production out. So essentially, like selling on the market probably could stop by January. The production of it wouldn't be until Q1. So that could be like March, April time that it actually gets delivered. If you think Q1, probably April more like it if it ends in January. And you're also thinking of that with right now, Drop Arcade Season 2. When it ends, it also had a Q1 date for delivery of the redemption because you have 30 days once it ends on Monday, by the way, everyone. Drop season 2 ends on Tuesday, I meant. Or Monday, yeah. Monday it ends. So Monday ends, you get your coin that day or the next day. So maybe Tuesday, say you get your redemption coin. You have 30 days to claim it. It can sell on the blockchain market of Drop and Wax and all that kind of stuff. And then you can, and then after that, it said Q1 for delivery. That was kind of the timeline of delivery. So
yeah, so we know they're still going to be in production until at least Q1 of 2026.
Yeah.
Which is good. The other thing too is we cannot go off the basis of the news sources that we've been getting rumors and information from, because these news sources have been horrendously wrong in the past. A lot of the same people that are reporting that NFTs are over are the same people that were crying 6 months ago saying Fun Days was over and never coming back, and they still had Fun Days. The biggest problem we have here is we're not getting official communication from Funko. We're getting bits and pieces from Drop, and nobody has come out officially and said, hey, this is what's happening. And they do need to come out and say one way or another, because if it is going away, then people want to know, like, how do I get my money out? Or, if they have money tied up in the secondary market.
That's where I have a problem though. If this is only going to be a pause, like, as a company, it's very irresponsible. If they are doing the pause, it's very irresponsible not to come out with some kind of a statement after. Listen, whatever leaks happen in every industry and whatever, quell that. Like, if it's not going away, why have they not said anything? If it is going away, I understand the silence. Like, they kind of got to figure out, eventually they would be making a game plan, because they got a lot of things because of the way that the Drop marketplace works. And you're going to have to keep that around without having a disastrous look for your company. You got to keep that around for a certain amount of time. Some of these things, because they were Drop exclusives, they're not going to transfer to other blockchains, which I see that being from what I understand. Again, I'm not a scientist. Sorry, guys. Believe it or not, I'm not. But I think it's going to be kind of disastrous for them one way or the other. Whether the pause, I think, would be okay. And if it's a pause, I feel like they would have just said, hey, we're on a pause. We're canceling season 3 because we're doing this pause. The thing that I don't like is they did the same thing with the sodas. We still are speculating. Is it a pause? Is it a stop? Some people said pause. Some people said stop. Some of the same reports that we got said sodas are gone. And guess what? They're still not back. So, like, I'm not convinced that they're coming back either. You know what? It's, for me, at the end of the day, it's for me.
I mean, we have speculation for sodas. We have SKUs that are apparently supposed to drop in Q1 and Q2 of 2026.
Listen,
then again, like they those same SKUs they did say were supposed to drop in Q3 and Q4 of this year. So the problem is Funko. The problem is them not communicating directly with their consumers. Yeah.
Yep. And that's exactly, that was going to be the next words that I said, is the gigantic problem that I have is just that there's no news about anything. Like, we don't, as collectors, it really, I said in our video today, the sodas was a huge part of the, like, fun about, that randomness, the collecting, the buying multiples. People got them. There was some fun to that. You know what I mean? The NFT, same thing. Like, some people hated it, which it's fine. And some people hated the sodas too. But I think for the people that collected both, now, if they're not making money, like, I get it. You got to make cuts to things, but announce that. Say, listen, it's been a disaster. We've been losing money hand over fist. We can't continue to do this. Here's our exit plan. And listen, maybe that was coming, and these leaks forced their hands a little bit. And I understand that they have to maybe, do a little bit, but do a little damage control. Like, just come out with something and let us kind of know what's going on. Sodas are the same way. I got a ton of sodas back there and out there. We've invested a lot of money, and not to, like, get any kind of word or anything with that. It's very,
sodas is a completely different situation.
It is. No, it definitely is. It's the lack of communication.
It's the lack of communication. And what we uncovered, the issue was that wherever they were making the sodas, I think it was in China, and then they switched them to the plant in Vietnam. It was too much for the cost of raw goods. So for your materials to create the soda can. And then on top of that, they had different artists come in and they wanted to revamp the sodas after the departure of Mike Becker and Brian Mariotti. So you had that in there as well. But sodas have come back through the boxes of fun, which is good. I wish that these these amazing sodas. I wish some of them had chases. I think that would have brought a lot of extra excitement and hype to the hobby. Now they haven't come out and said, anything else about sodas. I would have loved to see an exclusive here and there for like San Diego Comic-Con. I mean, they could blow us away next week and there could be an exclusive for New York Comic-Con. But I would actually be surprised. Like, I think I saw Laney or somebody in the chat say, I'd be surprised if sodas come back. I would be honestly shocked if sodas didn't come back with the amount of demand for blind packaging right now and products with mystery chases and rares and all of that. Like, why do you think the card market is still booming the way it is? Like, people want to rip stuff open, and I think Funko would be incredibly dumb to not bring back sodas in full force the way they had them before. Do them with the new full can wrap, with the new design. I think they'd be a huge hit. And then if they could create, if they did anime sodas, some One Piece sodas, like some IPs that are popular right now, I think it would get the community super hyped.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying, though. Like, what are the two things that they're taking away? Really, I feel like the two things that they... And again, maybe they're not taking away. We don't know what the heck they're doing, but the two things that so far that it feels like they're taking away are the two things that like people really love in other hobbies right now. You know what I mean? It's crazy to me.
Yeah. I think what they did was these are still niche communities, though, like sodas and NFTs are both
for
niche
sure
communities. They feed off the communities that love to open stuff, and I mean mystery boxes. I mean, we've all done that, a couple times, and like, the sodas were the same idea. I think the sodas, they still need to have that. If they're going to do it and they maybe say, oh, we have to raise them to $20 a piece, but hey, we're going to throw some of these 24-piece sodas in that mix with the chases as well, too.
What
Girl Joy has done.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I mean, take that playbook out of what they've done and beat them at it. Like, that's what you do as a company. You say, hey, someone else is doing something really well. I think one of the things, too, is it's weird that they're going away from NFTs at a time that other companies are stepping into it more. And it's not, I want to get away from, like, I would get away from the word NFT and just talk digital. And I think they have like really stressed that too when they've talked to people, because there's a lot of bad and
it's a negative connotation,
negative like thought around that, especially with some of the stuff that happened.
Well, because all right, let's just blatantly say it how it is. NFTs were a scam in the beginning.
Well,
there was all this money. People were putting all this money into nothing and causing all this hype. It was pretty much like a pyramid scheme. You had all these people, all these celebrities backing NFTs, like, oh, buy my digital stuff, buy my digital stuff. People bought it, and then other people bought it, and then the prices went up, and then more people bought it, and then guess what? The whole market fell out from underneath. So, and if you were holding the NFT last, then you were the one who lost all your money. I mean, that's
to a certain extent, though. All collecting's that way. Like I've got this card right here. Somebody's going to pay, let's say, $5 for it. It's 10 cents, like, or 2 cents or a penny for this card. Do you know what I'm saying? So to a certain extent, you could say that about any collectibles. I don't think any of these collectibles, like that collectible right there, is $300. Is it $300? I mean, it's only 2 cents of plastic. Somebody put value in it. So NFTs, it's not, you could say that every collectible is a scam because it's really not worth what it's worth. If in you know what I'm saying, in actual goods. So like you could say that. And again, there was hype beasts out there that inflated. It wasn't like what it is it's an inflated market that you drive that hype so high.
It was an inflated market with a non-tangible product. And that's the difference between that and collectibles, because at least the item that you just pointed to behind you, it's a physical item that people can feel, touch, hold, have in their hand. And if they look at it, and if that character, that license, or that person of the collectible is meaningful to someone, or if it's limited in some way, well, then it could have value. Like you just said, something's $300, and that value is determined based off supply and demand. That is different from what celebrities were doing. And they were like, hey, I'm going to sell you NFTs of my shoe. And it's like, no, you don't get the shoe. You just own a piece of the shoe digitally. and it blew up from there. And it was bound to fail, because I mean, there was NFTs, like I'm talking about just the digital side of it, that were reaching hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's like no one's going to pay. Like they were selling NFTs of the Mona Lisa, not the actual Mona Lisa, so that people were like, oh, I own 200 NFTs for the Mona. You don't own,
you know what's funny though? Let me tell you what's funny real quick. You actually sound like the old guy right now, because what's going to happen? I do. We are so close, and we are on the verge of finding, like, listen, forget 15 years ago, 5 years ago, the most expensive sports card ever sold, $13 million. And it wasn't for a card from the 1900s. It was I think it was Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I think it was, and I don't remember for sure. I'm not a huge basketball person, but $13 million. Would you have ever said that a card would have sold for $13 million? People are starting, and I think we are on the cusp of people finding, because we're starting to move to the digital age. People are going to start finding these. You're going to see what happens over the next 5 years and what people put value on. It won't be tangible things, I think, forever. With that said, like, that's a different discussion.
Wait, back that up. No, let's dive into that for 30 seconds.
I got a great example. I'd
like to hear this.
My son, when he was a little bit younger, played Fortnite all the time. Do you know how much he spent on those skins? Non-tangible outfits?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking hundreds of dollars. And guess what I kept telling him? You don't get anything. Why are you spending your birthday money on that? You don't get anything back. But you get to have this. It's all, and really collectibles are kind of that way to a certain extent. Some of them, we collect them for nostalgia, but you also like to say, hey, I got this 24 piece, whatever, or I've got this 150 piece, this. So like, to a certain extent, like, again, I'm saying this, I always play the devil's advocate. I'm the little devil's advocate down here, because on the other hand of it, I think the way the NFT market's got the bad rap is exactly for what you said. And it felt very scamish, the way that they hyped that stuff, and because they overinflated value without the market determining what that value is basically the way that was.
And I don't necessarily, I mean, actually, no, I kind of disagree with that, but that's okay.
Yeah, no.
But at the beginning of your argument, you said 5 years from now, right?
Yes. And it could be less.
That's what a lot of people said 5 years ago in 2020.
No, you're right. And I agree with you.
I'm not trying to, the reason I'm partially not disagreeing with you is because I do understand that the next wave of generations, they may grow up with those Fortnite skins. However, I think it's undeniable that at the end of the day, and it's been a thing throughout all of human history. I mean, you can go back to like the days of cavemen, when they valued certain rocks and certain feathers that they found and traded them as currency and as items that they personally valued. I think forever, I really do, unless something drastically changes in our society where we have like a chip in our arm where we need digital things to survive. I think that physical items will always be the dominant item.
I hope so, because I think we're in trouble. I think we're in trouble if it.
And that's coming from me, who's a little bit younger than you. And I personally, I don't get any value. I don't get any enjoyment out of stuff that I can't touch. And it may not be the case for somebody else who's the same age as me, but as a diehard collector, I got to be able to hold it, see it, put it on my shelf. Sorry, Josh.
So I was just going to say, like, I think what it is digital holds utility. And that's one of the pieces that Funko did a little bit well with the Pop Digital, is because you got utility enough to collect something to get something physical, possibly, either a royalty set or whatever. But also like Fortnite, the same way, right? Like you're buying the Beavis and Butthead skin that just came out this week, right? Or last week or whatever. Like people are buying that because they have nostalgia for Beavis and Butthead. And they're like, I want to play that character and be that character. It's not only about the physical though. That market is huge, and it didn't start with Fortnite. Fortnite definitely grew that market, and what they did is they only provided customized abilities. They didn't provide actual like player advantage of it. You know, like it's different when you can buy to play a game. Like, oh, I can get a limited life and a limited ammo or something like that if I pay more. But I think the other way around it is if you look at things like if you go back and look at Farmville. You guys remember Farmville?
Yeah. Oh god, I
The
had to
Bro, I
silence
bought so
all
much
those.
corn on that
Like,
farm.
oh,
Bill.
Joey
paying
sent you a
money.
pig. Like, come on, man, leave me alone.
I mean, people were paying money for it, and it was a huge, high-grossing thing on Facebook. You know, at that time, people were paying digital currency. I mean, people do it for utility, entertainment, things like that, right? Like that's why you're buying Fortnite skins. That's why you're buying whatever. You know, you play Clash Royale, you play whatever. You're buying things to do these different things that have utility, and I think that's where if you get more utility out of these digital pieces and assets, they do something for you in some way, whether it's provide a piece of entertainment, whether it's provide a piece to the game, all these kind of things. I think they missed out. Like, I'm really surprised they're pumping out still messages about the 1010 gaming Funko Fusion. Like that probably bled dry. I wonder how much that like really
I
made
think
money for them or not, because that game has done terrible.
no, I don't think that made the money. Hey, listen, and with what I'm saying right now, listen, I'm with everybody else. I'm my generation and where I'm coming from. There's a reason my walls are filled like this, and sports cards are sitting next to me over here. I like the NFT stuff. I like the digital stuff. Why? Because of the redeemables. If we weren't getting redeemables, would I be spending $30 a pack on? Now, like if
No, nobody would buy. They wouldn't.
they
I mean,
would
Daft Punk hit the nail on the head. People wouldn't buy Funko
100%.
NFTs if they weren't for redeemables. And how many different companies tried NFTs and drastically, almost immediately failed?
The one,
Because
which
they
ones
only
work
had
though? The ones that
which
work
ones
were the
worked
ones
was
that you got
Funko,
something.
and very few others where you got something
We got
tangible.
something, yeah,
Well,
for
to
sure.
bring this back to the NFT thing. So Luca has all this money in skins on Fortnite, right? He's very proud of his skin collection. So what happens in
Actually, he's not because he's got rid of everything. He did get a little check back, man. They did some kind of class.
why
yeah.
did he get rid of
lawsuit.
everything?
Honestly, I think he just you know what, you want me to get real technical, because really skins
Yeah.
are not NFTs. They're not
You can't sell them.
they're not NFTs
Yeah.
that can be taken and like you can sell them, but not like in a legalish
Illegal.
kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm telling you, I see where things are going. And again, that doesn't mean that I'm excited for that, because I prefer the world the way it is, but I see the way things are going. And I can see this at some point that exactly what you said, like it's going to get to a point where things get weird with that kind of stuff. NFTs are important.
So he got out. He got out.
Oh,
because he got
100%.
nervous?
Because don't most people now, if they were NFTs, when he got out, instead of getting out, and you can't do anything with these, if you stop playing the game, you lost all the money. If you had
But you just
NFTs,
sign back in. It's still there. Your account's still there.
oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm sure.
Wow.
You know what? I'm sure he has over the last 6 or 7 years, maybe. I don't even know. But you know what I'm saying? Like if they were actually NFTs, you would be able to sell them. Are they tangible that you could touch? No, but they're tangible to the sense that they would be something you could sell and do that kind of thing. I always said that I thought that they would have got there faster. And there's a lot of truth to what we're talking about right now. People are still, and it's the way it should be. Again, I'm kind of playing the devil's advocate because I don't want to see things go that way. I like the NFT stuff for the redeemables. And I do like the card part because I do enjoy opening them, and I like going back, completing sets. And honestly, what I like about that is I don't have to have boxes and boxes of stuff here. I don't mind that digital part of it. At the same time, like I said, I've got all kinds of cards sitting next to me. I prefer holding them in my hand and, being able to trade them with people in real life and not just through like a digital experience. But, to each their own. But I hope it stays that way.
He got rid of all his Fortnite skins for whatever his reason may be. Did he get rid of all his sports cards too?
Well, he didn't when he was younger. He didn't really have sports cards. Now he's got sports cards.
Oh, so now he's got a physical collectible.
But
Just
I would
saying.
say the opposite. Like my son still plays Fortnite. He's 18, and he plays other games. He plays a lot of games, and he spends money on games because he enjoys adding and getting the characters, and he uses that, and it's part of experience. I think
Yeah,
you
they
pay
had a
for
Skeletor
experiences.
skin in Call of Duty. It was friggin' amazing. I loved it.
So
Well,
Like,
experiences
$30
are
though.
great, but you can't really sell an experience or pass an experience on to another person.
Not
So,
yet.
so how about
not
all
yeah.
your movies, John? Do you own everything on DVD and Blu-ray?
We do not. We do not have
All right.
physical copies of.
But do you guys watch a lot of movies on streaming platforms and things like that?
We would not be a good example of that because we don't.
Not really. I mean, let's be honest.
How many movies have you guys asked me?
Music,
I haven't
like,
even seen Fantastic Four. I'm so far behind
I
on
haven't
movies
seen
and
it
TV
either.
shows. We don't like prioritize TV anymore.
like everyone out there that buys iTunes songs and things like that, like you don't own any of that music. Like you're listening to it and you're paying for it as a service, but unless you own the record or DVD or vinyl, you don't own that music. It's just a piece of the platform out there. So it's kind of like there's everything has both sides of the story. I think the problem, I mean, the biggest thing with this is no one would have bought them if they didn't have redeemables. We all kind of
All
know
agree.
that. Like, I think maybe if they were like really cheap, people would have had fun with them, and for a little bit, if they had utility in the Funko Fusion game or something like that, maybe people would have got them. You know, those kind of things. But if you don't have any utility and you don't have any redeemable, there's no real enticement to go after them.
And I think that's why they did die out as much as they did, because most did not have utility and most did not have redeemables.
Just to kind of counter your DVD/Blu-ray argument in regards to when comparing it to like Fortnite skins or something that you can buy within a game, experience or something. If Fortnite decides to end the game tomorrow, a lot of people are going to have their money trapped in those skins. Like they're not going to be able to, let's say they don't get the word in time, so the game ends, they're not able to sell their stuff to somebody else, so they lose out on all that money, they lose out on those experiences, etc., etc. If Netflix goes out of business tomorrow, unfortunately there's a lot more streaming services that carry movies and DVDs, so if we wanted to go see a movie somewhere else, we have options. So that's where
Squid Games, because Squid Games was Netflix only.
Well, if it's a Netflix original, of course, it's exclusive to Netflix. But what I'm just saying is, like, people have to be really careful, regardless of what age you are, because if you're putting your money into something digital, you don't have control over that digital item. And that's another thing that I wanted to bring up with a physical item. At least I have control of the item. Now, I don't have control over, let's say, a company like Funko or Lego or Hasbro. I don't have any control on what they do, despite what some people think and message us all the time. I have no control on Funko's decisions. But if I want to take this item off the shelf and sell it, I have my right to do so. If I want to buy an item from somebody else, I have that freedom to do so. Or if Funko goes out of business tomorrow, that item, because it's physical, still has some value. And that you don't have these things with the digital item all the time because there's a lot less control. So that's another reason why I like physical items.
There is, to a certain extent. I mean, they still live on the blockchain, and every blockchain. We don't need to listen.
No, but it's good because this ties in to NFTs. It really does.
For sure. No, for sure. I think what's gonna, I really, at the end of the day, I mean, I really think that we probably all agree more than anything. I mean, collectibles in general, like, are typically going to be a physical item. I don't see that changing for our generation. Honestly, John, I don't see it happening with your generation. And I'll be honest, I don't even know if it's my kids' generation that would completely abandon like physical objects. I think we're probably on that path. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying that in a good way. It's not something I prefer. It's something I hope, like, we don't. It seems weird and foreign to kind of even think that. And again, I'm not arguing that that's the way it should be and we should all accept it, because that's not what I'm saying at all. It's just really, at the end of the day, especially with, I'm trying to tie it back to kind of what we're dealing with here. You know what I'm saying? It's really, because it's a long story. You would have to see how Funko is going to handle their exclusive, because they're exclusive on the drop marketplace. Because I don't know what blockchain drop is on. Is drop on its own blockchain? Because I don't know what it's backed by. I don't think you could transfer any of the drop exclusives.
No,
Like tomorrow, if I decided I
only
wanted to move all my
account.
stuff to the Wax blockchain, I can move everything except for the drop exclusive, if I'm correct still.
You could. And Wax could go away as well too, and
For
someone
sure.
else could take over the blockchain. I mean, it's still, all this is still digital in per se. I mean, the biggest thing is like, people need, at a certain point, they have to be very clear of what's going on and communicate to people what they need to do.
Right.
And they have done very well in that in the past when they switched over to the new USDC in the marketplace and switched over what they utilized for it and how they did it. They did a pretty good job of communicating how it works and what happens and things like that. They need to come out with something soon about like, hey, this is like, I don't know if they have a timeline, or maybe they don't, but they need to say right now we're taking a break, or we're holding off. We're analyzing what we want to do next with drop, or we still don't know. They could drop something this month. We still really don't know. No one has confirmed,
like,
and they never have confirmed or denied anything anywhere, like on their like Discords and things like that about like the future of kind of peace and that kind of thing.
And that's why, like,
I think this is a good question by Gus.
I have
Sorry,
personally not answered any of the questions that people have asked us this week with NFTs. I am not changing my strategy whatsoever. Like, we still have money tied up in the secondary marketplace. Like, and I have not burned anything. I'm not moving anything around until Funko makes or Drop makes an official announcement, because this could all just be false hype, fake news, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's tied into everything going on with the new CEO, because the new CEO just started September 2nd. September 1st was his first day, but that was Labor Day. So September 2nd, technically his first day, probably. So until they make an announcement, and I believe that they have a legal obligation, because there's so much money tied up into this blockchain from their own customers, I don't think they can turn it off. Because if they were to turn it off, I'm pretty sure, like, turn it off without notice, they would have to legally pay everybody out.
I mean,
whatever they have.
There's going to be a lawsuit down the road. Everyone will get so much out of it. Like,
Right.
I mean,
they would want to avoid that. That's why.
I mean, I just got something from AT&T. I just got something from Facebook. I just got something from Fortnite. Like, all these companies at some point have a data leak or some issue or something falsify. Like, all these big companies eventually probably have lawsuits against them. I mean, Funko's had several lawsuits against them during the IPO, like after the IPO happened when they went public. One of them actually succeeded this year. We saw it this past year. It was one of the few that actually succeeded. There was other ones out there. They just didn't get moved on. Like, they didn't get to the point where, people could claim money and things like that. I will say, Gus, I am playing, but I already played Drop Arcade the first season. It wasn't like I wasn't going to play this season. Now,
you don't plan on getting rid of you're not going to burn every single one of you. Like, could be the last season that you can burn.
Oh, I still want that Freddy.
I want the Freddy.
330 piece.
But what I'm saying is, you're not looking at like a fire sale, get rid of everything, the world's burning type of thing. Me neither. I mean, I'll be honest, I still haven't burnt any.
There's no reason to. I mean, I want that pop. So,
I mean, that's the whole thing. I already committed to it. It's just gone up now. Now the curious thing will be, what is the 333? Now, I will say there's right now only 1,790 people actually participating in Drop Arcade Season 2. So there's 1,700 people that have participated in some way in it. Top one, of course, is Poppin' Craze. He's over 1 million right now.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He decided to go over 1 million. He's like 1 million. He's going to get the proto for the next round. He wants to get it, I'm sure, and go after it. 333 is, what is it at today? 333 is at, see if I can jump to it.
Here, while you're doing that, I just want to thank Gus for being a channel member now for 11 months. Appreciate you, Gus.
Yeah.
And Hater coming in as a channel member for 22 months, almost 2 years, my friend. Thank you so much, man.
59,000, which I think is still low. I think it's going to be over. It's going to be close to what it was last time, if not more. I would think more. But I mean, 60 right now. I thought maybe 80. You asked me a week ago, I would have said 80. thousand points. You ask me, this week, I would say 180. You know, like depend how it.
No, I mean, I
go in and say, but a lot of people don't even have that many points too. So there's going to be a lot of people that can't even compete with that. So I don't know if 333 people. I haven't looked at, like, I think it was what's the not Pop and Stock, but the other one. I think it had a list of how much was available from everyone. I don't know if there's how many players have 180,000 points to even burn to get close to it, because you won't be able to burn Marvel. Marvel's not going to reach it in times. You know, up until now is it. So whatever has been,
you had to kind of be in there already.
It's like what is going in there now is the only things that can burn. You can't burn like Marvel. You can't burn even Funimation because it's going to be after the burn happens. So those kind of things for Arcade Season 2, it would have been perfect for Season 3, but for Season 2, I just think that was very weird. But you could tell that it was like, well, we got to tell people because it's a week away kind of thing, that they're not going to be another season. If you want to burn stuff, you might want to go burn some more. Like, I feel like that's what they're saying with the and who knows? Drop Arcade didn't make them any money,
right?
Like they might have made
not directly
made some money on the marketplace with stuff going up in value and people buying stuff, but they realized people weren't going crazy on it. So maybe they're like, it's not really profitable for us to send out 333 Freddy Funkos with free shipping to everyone.
And that ties into my point in the beginning, because we don't know exactly what's happening, and there could be a pause in play because they just want to figure out, like, how can we make this the most profitable operation? Because like, a bunch of people said it in the beginning of the stream, and I wanted to circle back to it because it's an excellent point, and it's kind of the obvious writing on the wall, is that Funko is killing it with their limited edition pops. I think Dave said it. I think Ace said it. A few other people said it. So are the limited edition drops the reason that Funko would turn away from NFTs? I actually hope they don't, for the sake of international collectors, because I've gotten a few messages and emails from people that are very upset who are outside of the United States who have been able to participate in NFTs. But I mean, it's kind of funny. I told one person from New Zealand, I was like, don't get too worked up over it, because listen, we're here in Pennsylvania. We're in the United States. Our Wi-Fi is good from what I understand. And I still can't. Like, I can't get any of these limited pops. So
you know what?
We can't get them here in the U.S. because they sell out so fast.
And that's
international people won't get them either.
That's kind of what worries me a little bit, is that, you know.
But this is what we wanted. We all wanted more limited pieces.
Oh, I totally I totally agree with you. But there was two things, and I said in our video today, because I gave a little bit of commentary on what you know, what our thoughts were on it. Yeah. Two things I don't like, and I think are the negative side of this, is one, yes, maybe we're going to get more limited drops. Now, in order to equal what we were getting, now we're going to be getting 2 and maybe have to get 3 almost a week to like equal out to what we were getting with the NFTs. And on top of that, like, I've enjoyed the last couple of the limited piece drops, but we got to be honest here. They have not been anywhere near as good as the NFT pops for the most part. I'm not saying every NFT pop is like a home run, hit it out of the ballpark, but like, we opened up the Grail from the last Halloween drop today. I've not seen any of the pops so far. Maybe the Dunharrow King, but that's maybe maybe that is the only one that I would put on the spectrum of most of the NFTs, not all. So are they going to start increasing that more? Because what I don't like, and what you just alluded to, John, like, I've tried to get on 4 of the drops. I have not been successful on any of the 4 that I've gone after. And again, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with missing out. But like, am I never like? Is it just never going to happen now? Like,
well,
am I going to get one out of,
like, they're so popular and they're doing so well. Does that turn people off long term? Because
what I worry about a little bit, and I see the secondary market.
I worry about it too, because I think it's a double-edged sword. I think
I agree.
You are if you're interested in something, like I just pulled up the Bob's Big Boy glitter that's going up tomorrow. Let's say you're somebody who wants this. If you don't get it, you're going to be upset. And if you, let's say you go, all right, next week, week after, like every week now, I'm going to go after one of these until I get one. And then like 2 months later, you're like, man, I haven't gotten any of these. You're probably not going to go after them, and you might not be as heavy of a Funko customer as you used to be. However, at the same time, during this like hypothetical 60-day window that I just made up, there's going to be other people coming into this also going into, you know, trying to get some of these limited piece pops. So has Funko found like almost a perfect scenario where if they can get word out and people hear about these and these pops continue to flourish on the secondary market, where there's always going to be demand, but we're going to be seeing the community cycle through at a much faster pace than we've seen before because people just get burnt out.
The only small caveat to that is what in Bob's Big Boy here is a good example. They up the points, I think, from 12,000 to 2,000 points. How many people have 2,000 points in their account right now? I'm not saying nobody does.
We do, but I'm sure as heck not going to waste it on a
But what's going to end up happening, like if they really start putting out some fire stuff, right? Like they put out some of these, because Freddy's, they're still going to create Freddy's, I would imagine. If they take the NFTs away and let's say they throw in a couple more of these limited releases at some point, like at what point do people not have points anymore? And now what are they doing? Like, now you're not you're able to quell the bots at all. Like it's starting to get
people to either buy stuff on the Funko shop, or there's going to be drops. Like we're actually going to see a pop sit for like 2 days because nobody has points.
Well, but you don't need points. Like it's only like that's the pre-open window
for some.
You know what
Oh yeah, no, right. Until the window is open. Right.
Once the window's open, like they're gonna go in a second, which is gonna be fantastic. And maybe that's gonna allow some of these, you know, right now everybody's not everybody, but anybody that's trying to flip these, they're using their points every single drop right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Trying, you know, if you're lucky enough to use your points every drop right now, like at some point now that's going to kind of go away. You know, I'm just interested to see, you know, I don't know. I'm interested to see how this works if they start to put more of these limited piece, you know, pops available to everybody. Does it frustrate the new people that are coming in? You know, and listen, this is what we talked about back in 2020. We said the same things. Like people were getting frustrated and people were stopping trying this. But if like you really love this stuff and now I got to go on the secondary market and buy a Star Killer for 500 when I could have bought maybe a couple packs on the NFT side, it is hard because, you know, you do exclude some
in a perfect
people both
world.
ways.
I wish both continue to exist.
Agreed.
What do you got, Josh?
Well, I was going to say one of the things too with the limited edition world is that also Funko doesn't need to take the risk on everything because these other retailers are buying them from them. Now they don't make as much off of them because they're not selling them on their own platform like this Bob's Big Boy.
You're talking the non-Funko shop ones.
Yeah, there's plenty of limited ones that are coming out from about everyone. Entertainment Earth has had how many? Amazon, Walmart, everyone, Target, everyone has had something in these in this marketplace now. So Funko doesn't have to take the risk. Funko is selling them already. Say we have 9,500 sold. Even if these don't sell out, it's not our fault because it's now Target owns them. And you know, and Target's like, well, we'll take a risk on 9,500 and compared to 36,000 we had to buy of something else before, when we can have this limited release and maybe pull people to our website or stores or Hot Topic or Box Lunch or smaller retailers like a Chalice or a Toy Temple that might be at a con. They want to drive people to a con and get a 1,200 piece, you know, those kind of things, like drive them to their booth and do stuff like that. I'm hoping that you'll see more of. And I think what Funko realized is like, oh, people are willing to buy these at this price. I mean, if you think about it, it hasn't been that long. WonderCon was the first time tier pricing was released. WonderCon, everyone. That wasn't that long ago. So we still have a chance for this to be hyped up for now and could eventually fail too. Right. It could be like, okay, well, you know, all right, people are buying them because everyone's, you know, wanting to flip them or seeing the market of eBay and things like that as well too. Not just buying them because they enjoy it. People are buying them because they say I can make $400 off of this or $50 off of this and sell it and things like that, which Funko doesn't really care because they're selling it at a certain point and selling at a price point that they can actually afford to make a 1,200 piece Funko Pop because they're selling it for more money. They can afford to make a mold and have something like that, or a 5,000 piece or a 750 piece, because they can afford to have that higher. Now they have that higher price point and they know people will buy it. There was no like, they never tried that with sodas, right? They sold every soda at the same price pretty much. And then they had the exclusives and the regulars, but like the idea of like, they never said, oh, let's do tier pricing on soda. This 2,000 piece soda will be $25. This 9,000 piece soda will be $15. Like they're trying this with this Pops because, hey, they're realizing we can make a bigger profit off of something that we used to sell for $15. And they were like, well, it sold out for $15. That's great. But hey, we can sell it out for $50. That's even better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, limited edition. I was just reading some of the stuff in the chat. Randy brought up a great point. He said very few are actually limited. 5,000, 9,500 is not that limited. And you're correct. And that's why, you've seen certain drops like Star Killer was only 750 pieces. That is limited. And like that. Right. And if they keep doing that, where they mix in some lower piece counts, actual lower piece counts intertwined with the higher piece counts. But even though I agree with you 100%, Randy, the other thing that I will just throw out there is some people don't have any limited edition. Like they don't have any Pops in their collection with any number. So when they do get that 9,500 piece, 8,000 piece, 7,500 piece, whatever it is, it may seem like a high number to us. And Randy's a perfect example too. Like he's somebody with an amazing collection. Like he's been collecting for a long time, very experienced when it comes to Funko. So your perception of limited edition also changes the longer you're in your collecting journey. So there's that plays into it.
And
as well.
I mean, at the same time, we had Funko Shop drops back in the day, 7,000 piece, 8,000 piece, that still hold fairly good value. Like they're $100 Pops still. So like, yes, it's not, it's not crazy limited, but I think we kind of been saying it, like anything sub 10,000 is a good amount for a Pop to have good viable value down the road. Do you know what I'm saying? Where
I mean, there's been plenty of Pops that held their value and have sold. Probably we don't even know how many are on the market. Like that's the crazy thing too. It doesn't. I think it's hard. It's good to know that there's only 9,500 pieces, no matter what. I mean, here, this Homer Simpson. We have no idea. There could be 36,000 of these. Right. There could be 60,000 of these. We don't know. It was on sale in the Funko shop. I grabbed another one. Because I was like, I'll put it away. And then I had to add something extra on for shipping and stuff like that. So, you don't know, like any exclusive prior that was a store exclusive, from what we were told for a long while, was 36,000, I think. 30 to 36,000 had to be produced and bought for exclusives at one point. Like if you wanted an exclusive, that's what we were told by several people that had gone after their own exclusive.
No,
and I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, that must have been a while ago. Because are you talking about like in terms of sales, like how many sales they had to do?
No, they had to buy that many. Like they could not buy exclusive with less than that. I mean, right now, can you still buy the Elvira from $7 a pop with the chance of the chase?
Like from their website? I'd have to look.
Can you buy it at retail from their website? I mean, there was no number on that, so I don't know how many they had to buy to have a chase too. And
True.
I've been told,
and that was a 1 out of 36 chase. That wasn't a 1 out of 6.
Yeah, but you have to buy more if you want to chase too.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
So they want you to spend like X amount more. If you want to chase, you have to commit to whatever number it is now. Now, when I had Mason on from Gemini Collectibles, he kind of talked about like they've been looking at getting another exclusive now for Gemini and what it would be like. And he talked a little bit about how the numbers have changed. Before, you also had to have so much in sales before you
had to do it. You had to do a million,
almost $1 million, I think, in sales for some of them, depending on how limited a piece you wanted. Like it was a good amount of sales you had to have with them, for depending on how low, like how many you could like were committing to and things like that. So it wasn't a cheap. I think it's better now, but I think they realize they have to make it better because their bigger retailers kind of backed off from all their exclusives a little bit and buying 36,000, 60,000, whatever they were buying to throw Target Con exclusives that sat on the shelf for how many months afterwards,
Yeah. Well, I just want to bring up before I address this next great comment from Randy, there is one glaringly obvious common factor between the three things that we've discussed so far tonight: sodas, NFTs, limited piece pops. It's that number on the front. People want to see the number on the front of their product. And Randy brings up another great point. Anything with a number is good. Just surprised how fast a 9,500 piece sold out when a year ago that would have never happened. And I agree with you. And I think we are seeing a big turn in the tide as far as collectibles. It seems like collectibles are heating up again. People are pouring more money into building up their collections again. We're seeing stuff go up in value on the aftermarket. Things are selling higher once again. So that's going to trickle down to your lowest level. When you see people throwing down thousands of dollars for one pop, then you're going to have all these people that are like, yeah, I'll pay 15, 20, 30 bucks for a 9,500 piece pop. And that's when you have it sell out. And then if you have a majority of those people, or even a portion of those people, taking that 9,500 piece pop and selling it on the aftermarket for double, triple retail, and they're making money, well, then of course they're going to be right back ready to go for the next limited piece drop because they can use this to make money. And that's the bottom line. People are enjoying the limited piece items because some people are actually going after these characters. Like I had a number of people reach out to me saying, hey, you want to buy my Star Killer for $600? No, thank you very much, but I appreciate the message. If I was able to obtain Star Killer at retail, 100% would have kept them for my collection because that character means something to me. However, there is a huge opportunity to make money, and that's why these are selling out.
Mm-hmm. You know what's weird though? Like this is a great example of one that's 5,000 pieces. It's Amazon exclusive.
Mogisha.
And it's a Powerpuff Girl. It's only 5,000. You can find it on Amazon still. It kind of like I think goes in and out of stock every once, but I just checked it. I wondered if it was in stock. They said there's 20 in stock right now. So if you want to go on and get this for $25 with the stack, you can get your stack. You can get your Moesha from Powerpuff Girls, I think, and then you can. But it's 5,000 pieces. Do you think that would have been like Amazon free shipping with everyone's Prime and everything like that? That would be the instant sellout. But another one, the 9,500 piece Demogorgon from Walmart.
Well, before you jump to the Demogorgon really quick.
Yeah.
That pop, I feel like that is a great example. And no offense to Mogisha, however you say that. Mohisha.
Mojo.
Like, is there enough? Like, would that pop be anything more than like $12 if it didn't have that number on it?
No.
Yeah,
no,
I just feel like that.
I like that pop a lot, but no,
I
don't think it would be. But I think we're talking about that Demogorgon. I think we could say the same thing. Would we sell any of those if it didn't have a number? And again, we're kind of getting to the point that scares me right now is the NFTs that were so good, fantastic molds. A couple of my favorite Freddies that have been released over the last 5 years are NFT Freddies. And where does that go? Now we're going to get gold Demogorgons and Mogisha. You know what I'm saying?
No, like, that's a good point.
It worries me a little bit because I'd rather take that chance. Now, if they do, listen, if we get a Target exclusive Freddy Funko as He-Man or something like that, hey, I'm down. Take the NFTs away and let's go at it and let's try to make that happen. I said it in our video. The thing I liked about the NFTs, it always felt very fair, especially after those first couple drops. After that, it's maybe after the first year, especially, like anybody that wanted to get packs, like they weren't selling out in 5 minutes. And even the fastest sellouts were taking a half hour, 45 minutes. So like, I always felt like I had a fighting chance to pull the grail, to pull a limited piece, at all that stuff. I got a couple of the mythics were crazy.
I agree. Like you had a fighting chance, but the sheer quantity of some of these packs that they were, took half an hour to sell out, but it still sold out. Like in some cases, we saw 40, 50, 60,000 packs when you combined the premium with the standard. That's a lot of, if they dropped a 60,000 piece pop, it would take 5 years to sell out.
Well, and that's kind of, yeah, I get, but that's our argument to how are they not making money with this?
They are making money with this.
Why would they,
so it doesn't make, the only thing that leads me to believe that something is being changed is because the CEO or somebody somewhere has looking into this. Now, maybe they're losing money on arcade. Maybe they're losing money on all the shipping issues, trying to figure out people.
I'm sure they're losing money on the shipping issues. I mean, that's got to be costing them a ton.
That's why I think every single sign that we have here is directing towards a pause and a reevaluation, not a complete cancel. Because if they cited this, how do you cite this as something that was profitable at the end? Well, it's profitable for 2024 enough to put in their report, but then all of a sudden now you want to get rid of it? Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Even with fewer drops. If anything, like, I would expect a revamp and then more drops. Like, it's just I don't know. Well, they're selling also, a lot of digital stuff and not having to send out very much physical stuff when you look at the end of the day.
I mean, I'm curious about, like, it's hard to say, like, if Josh Simon was the one that made this call too. Like, people are all like pointing, oh, it's Josh because he started and it ended like right away, and it could have been, but I think it could have been in the talks for a while. It could have been through the board. It could have been through the person that was on the board that took over as the interim CEO. He could have not liked the idea from the beginning because he was probably the one that got Mariotti out. He probably was on the board. The board really was the ones that got Mariotti out, that got, Cynthia out and things like that as well too. They weren't happy with whatever was going on. So if you have a conflict with the board and they don't like something, if they're taking over temporarily, he could have made that decision like, oh, right before Josh comes, we're going to make this a call. And when he comes on, it's done. And this is it. And you come in as a new CEO, you might not have a lot of leverage because you want to be good with your board, because you don't want to become like Cynthia and be around for only a year. You hope you could be around for a little longer as a CEO, especially if he left his really nice job at Netflix for this job and those kind of things. So you kind of have to play nice with the board as well too. So who knows? It could have been the board. It could have been the person that took over, that was part of the board that took over as the interim CEO. He might have not ever liked this idea. He might have said this was the stupidest idea. Why did we even buy Token Head or Token Wave? And why do we take majority stake of them and go into all this? I never liked this from Mariotti's idea or whatever like that. Yeah. And finally had the chance to make it happen. Between that time Cynthia was there and Josh was there, he could have had it, because I find it weird that they did a panel at SDCC, the future of digital, and they let them sign up. The two people that were kind of heading up Drop were part of the panel. And it was like, well, you probably wouldn't like okay that as a company if you knew there was a chance that it was going away. But when they did and submitted it, it was under probably Cynthia's leadership, because she didn't leave to right after 4th of July, I would say, time, like, because it was right after Fun Days, right? And it was before SDCC. So right in that, I mean, they had to be also working already to get Josh on board. That was a quick turnaround to hire a CEO. So, like, the only, again, the more I think about.
Oh, did we lose him?
Is he frozen?
Am I frozen?
Or no, you're back.
I think you're back. We're back.
I see me pause. I was about to say something very monumental. I know. I left it on a cliffhanger. So, what was I trying to say? I think I remember what I was trying to say. Give me a second. Go ahead and keep. Now I can.
Well, here I'll read this. Hopefully it'll come back.
Yes.
Ace brings up a good point. Says, I say Thrilljoy is a good example of how not everything being limited will lead to sellouts. Just look at some of their picks or shelf warmers, and that's very true. Like, a lot of their stuff does not sell out. But then again, they don't have as Yeah, they don't have as
company, but
wide
they
as
still,
a collector base or, you know, a consumer base
No.
as Funko. So, company like Funko, I think, could do very well by making a lot of limited pieces.
Oh, I
But yeah,
remember what
you
I was
can't
going to
make
say.
everything like
I didn't mean to jump all over.
Yeah, do it.
I did because I'll forget again. So the more that I was thinking about, like as we're talking, the more that I'm thinking about it, you know, I'm pushing even farther away from me thinking that this is like a pause with anything, like the pause with the sodas.
Mhm.
I mean, whether they bring it back now or not, you alienated all the customers that you had that were passionate about that, and you really, what are you doing to? What are you going to do to bring like new people that really didn't like it to begin with? Now you're going to do that with the NFTs. You had, let's say, whatever momentum you had going, to put a pause on something like this, especially without any kind of like feedback and hey guys, we're doing this. Like all the people that are passionate, like I'm very passionate about the NFTs, kind of takes the wind out of your sails on, you know, getting excited about for anything, you know. And unfortunately we haven't heard a lot. And if Drop didn't make any comment whatsoever, I would be hoping and wishing that we weren't moving to that case. It's just with them canceling that final you know, the last season, the season 3 of
Well,
the,
I
it
I
just
will
it doesn't make me
yeah.
feel good. Do you know what I'm saying? And just
I
putting a
will
pause seems crazy to me that they
I
would do
will
that.
proudly defend Funko in every sense of where they deserve defense. But one of the things they don't deserve defense over, and there is no defense, is the lack of communication.
Right.
And just like you said, like
Right.
the time period where they stopped doing sodas to when I was San Diego Comic-Con 2024. So we went to San Diego Comic-Con 2024 technically because that's when we got the can of corn soda and the Fun Mart Freddy soda. Even though they didn't have chases, they weren't that great. They were still sodas. So we went from San Diego Comic-Con 2024 all the way to Fun Days. So we went 11 months without a new soda release. I think maybe in there was like the Scare Fair, Art the Clown, big debacle over that.
Yes, I think that was one of the last ones we got. No,
right. But I agree with you 100%. Like when you let something go for too long, you lose interest fast, you lose momentum, and it's a dumb business decision. Like if Funko really
crazy.
does, well, if they stop or put a pause to NFTs now, it would be a very dumb business decision. However, I can't defend them in some of their choices because they make a lot of good choices, but they also make some really dumb choices, and this would be one of them.
And I think one of the things we don't know about though is like overall costs and what they're making and, you know, what they're losing and all those parts. Because also one of the things with Drop, if you didn't know, look at the address where they're sending it from. They're not sending it from their Arizona nice big warehouse that they purchased just a few years ago. They're sending it from another warehouse somewhere in California. Like, so they have a whole nother warehouse to store these and get them prepped and send them and all those. So you're paying additional warehouse fees, additional staff fees for that warehouse, all those kind of pieces and parts. So, I mean, Funko, that should have been like early on figuring out like why are we doing this there and what are we figuring out? Because we don't know what issues like Funko has had with shipping with other products because they're not on a timeline like always, but there has been issues. I'm sure we're getting stuff to retailers and things like that, but these limited edition ones, I'm sure they're coming separately from their other orders. Maybe, you know, having that kind of cost associated with additional staff, like they have separate support people, they have separate, you know, all these like
it's got to be a huge expense for sure.
And I'm sure someone that was laid off recently might have been the part that messed up a couple of the like added an end to the magician instead of had nutrition. Like who was supposed to double check that? Like in that line, like that.
And that's another piece of evidence.
Mistake.
That's a mistake that I feel like they don't. Well, we know they are really upset over the mistakes that they made, and they entered 2025 with a tremendously good decision by saying, "Hey, guess what? We're going to update the numbers so the piece counts on the stickers are going to be exact and not the total projected," which I thought was one of the best decisions they could have made.
Yeah. And that's the bummer, man.
And
like
that got more people excited. That got more people engaged and interested. So I'm hoping, based on the information that we got, that it is a pause and they're just going to reevaluate a little bit and then get back to normal. Because I know I saw a little bit of What's Poppin' Craze video. Like I know there's a lot of people out there who, I love the NFTs. I don't want to see them go away or anything, but I think we're in a full reevaluation stage, and I think you're onto something, Josh. Because here's the thing: like, I've worked for companies. You guys have worked for companies. A lot of you guys in the chat, you work for companies. Maybe you're at a minimal, maybe you're the first level of management, maybe you're at a senior level of management, maybe you're on the board of something. Like, we all have different levels of experience. Like Jason, for example, I know Jason oversaw high level of management and everything that had to do with his company. Decisions get made most days, and maybe some of you guys will disagree with me on this, but I witnessed, at least in my time, a lot of decisions being made on emotion and one person simply not liking somebody else. They made emotions based off, or they made decisions based off that, not based on facts. And you could be onto something, Josh, with this interim CEO going, you know what? I didn't like what they were doing in the beginning with this. I didn't like what Cynthia was doing. And when people are given power and then they make decisions based off of emotion, that's when you see things happen where everybody scratches their head and goes, what's going on here? But that's why at the end of the day, like, Funko really needs to step up. We've said it for years. I've said it for a long time. They got to step up their communication. I don't know why they don't communicate with us. We are there. We keep their lights on. We pay them.
To lend towards kind of what your argument is, John, that maybe it's a pause. I could see a new CEO coming in, and right now in the drop landscape, we just had two major box problems. We had the problem with the turtles. The turtles, they gave ridiculous refunds that I never collected them, which I should have. But they made multiple mistakes with the boxes. They've had multiple problems now, like 2 or 3 drops in a row where they've had damaged boxes. They had the 10-inch pops that were a fiasco. Like, they've had a lot. And again, I think that they've made dramatic, fantastic strides in improvements too. But they did run into these like back to back kind of issues. He may have came in and said, listen, whoa, like, what's going on here? Like, this is a disaster right now. Let's pause and see what we can do to restart this. Now, would you get rid of as many people as they got rid of? Would you run with the skeleton crew while you figure that out? Would you cancel Drop at Key? All of those things are very plausible. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they wanted to, what bothers me is exactly what we're saying this whole time. If they felt that way, if the new CEO comes in, it would be completely understandable for exactly the explanation I just said. Why not release a statement? Like, I get they don't owe us that, but people that own stock in this company, I don't know how they don't have to put any kind of releases out, and they just do whatever they want and pause. And again, if they're losing money, just, hey, we're losing money. We have to shut this down, and that's it. Or if we had a pause, this is what we have to do. This is not acceptable for us, and we got to get this cleaned up before we continue with it. Everybody be like, holy crap, we heard something from somebody, and now they're going to improve this and not have all these issues because X, Y, or Z. But, nothing. It's just crickets and speculation, and just all the signs are showing me, because what you said too, John, I think it's a horrible business decision just to put it on pause. But if they're putting it on pause for a reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they're just putting it on pause because they're waiting for something, whatever that something is, tell us.
And if they define the pause, if they say, hey, 30 days, we just need to reset, regroup, 90 days, 120 days, whatever it needs to do. So let people know, like, okay, cool, this is where we're at.
They could be like, hey, we're concerned with whatever tariff issues. We're concerned with the shipping issues. We need to figure out what's going on.
They could have just said
production.
Blame it on that.
A lot of companies have come out in the last 2 weeks and said, hey, we're unsure with what's happening with the tariffs, so just hold tight.
Yeah. And that's all. If they said that, like, and they said, listen, with it, while this is going, listen, there's 2 million things they could have said. They've said none of them. And we're just speculating again and leaving everybody to speculation, which is, that's just, I don't know. I've never liked that part of the company. And I wish that would change with one of these CEOs that come in. I wish that would change. And it's like CEO after CEO. Maybe that's just not what, the board will never allow it. Whoever the board is.
Yeah, I think part of it is they are a public traded company. So great example, you come out and say, oh, we're getting rid of these things that when they announced it originally, of course, that's when it was like a hot topic too, as well. Like when they announced they're purchasing majority stake in Token Wave and bringing aboard, this was before anything was called Drop or anything like that. It was, Token Wave and Token Head was their app. Bringing aboard this because we want to go digital. We want to have a digital aspect of Funko and these kind of things. Their stock went, by the way, at that time, it was $20 for a stock. And it went up to like 24 when they announced it. Now, opposite, now it's less than $4 for stock. I don't know what it is today. But it was also, if they announce stuff like that, it could hurt the stock even more. So stockholders don't want negative press on it as well, too. Like it's kind of like that kind of weird thing is like what kind of communication comes out and how does it go about. Now you have to include stuff about losses, concerns, all that kind of stuff in your annual reports and those kind of things. But this like day-to-day stuff, unless they bought something and they bought another company or took over something, or someone bought huge amounts of shares and converted, and someone did recently. I saw someone, I think a company bought like, I don't know, it was like $800,000 worth of shares or something crazy. Like I saw some crazy number they bought recently, the amount of shares, like 80,000 shares or something like that. And I was like, okay, like, well, someone's looking at it, either they know something going on, or hey, we're going to get it while it's on the cheap and it might go up. It's a good like market gamble because they're like, I don't know how much lower they can get. They're like three something, like $3 and some cents, like from a couple years ago, $20. Even last February, they were at $14. February. Now we know what happened after February. Kind of started getting that whole a lot of issues with like tariff announcements, unsureness about like marketplaces, especially goods and economy and what's going on, like all that kind of scared up, especially stock market around these kind of things. But it'd be interesting to see where it goes, because it's weird. Company, I was trying to compare it to like Mattel and Hasbro and like other big companies, that like what their stock was doing. One of them actually went up from February. So it was like 14, it was maybe 14 and went to 18 or something like that. Another one went up. Like percentage wise, they were nowhere near what Funko did percentage wise of the change of their stock and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's probably a big reason why also we don't have Cynthia as a CEO, like there's a lot of factors around that have changed. But we have not heard a single word from Josh Simon yet. Nothing. Like,
nothing.
Hey,
not even a hello.
Forward, Funko fans. Look forward to being your CEO.
Unfortunately, I'm not surprised about.
No, I'm not either.
It's been so soon. I'm hoping we hear from him by the end of the year. I think that's realistic.
I think I looked and I didn't see him having a panel at New York Comic Con at this time. Could be added later or something like that. But I tried to look to see if there was going to be a panel or anything for Funko, and at this time I didn't see a panel for Funko. I'm sure he'll be around making deals, shaking hands, meeting people, talking Netflix. I don't know.
Yeah. So unfortunately, all we have is, speculation, and we can hope that Funko comes out with some hardcore facts for us to go off of. But for the time being, I don't know. I still have reason to believe, that I think they're still going to be around. And, I think Bree was the one talking as your account.
Yeah,
I agree with her. I agree with her 100% money. Now, the facts don't lie. They were making a ton of money off NFTs. Now, maybe something changed. Maybe they had some additional costs come up, and that's what's triggering this whole thing. But this isn't Popsies. This isn't Project Fred. This isn't, now they figured out a way to make money off Jumbo Chans too. But like all these other things that they've tried, this isn't Funko Fusion. This isn't Funko
Pop-ins, huh?
It's not pop pins. Like there's plenty of things that didn't work for them, and those are gone.
Well,
what was
and
what
some
was
of
the
them
other
they're still
thing? Oh,
making.
rewinds are gone. Like there's plenty of
Rewinds.
things you can look at, and you're like, wow, all right, they definitely didn't make money off those. Unnumbered sodas were gone so fast because of how badly they performed. So NFTs have performed very well for them for several years. They've built up that customer base. People love them. They at least owe it to us to let us know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I hope you're right. I hope it's a pause. I mean, I don't feel like it is. I feel like it is the end. And again, what's a shame is I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's the shame. I've spent a ton, Josh has spent a ton, and John, you spent like we've all spent a ton of money on packs and videos and everything that goes in with the a lot of time, just time compiling set. Like I've compiled sets even after drops and stuff like that. So like to have all that done and just kind of just be left in the wind at this point, it's very disappointing as a customer. And like I said, if it's a pause, like that disappointment doesn't go away from me. Now it's like, well, why did you leave us flapping in the breeze here? And I feel the same way with sodas. And really, that's why I bundled the two together, is because like it made me feel the same way. It was a shame to kind of just be left in the dark. And then, you see a couple pop up here and there, and it's like, well, are we done? Are we not done? Like, is this happening? It's just, I just don't feel like that's not a good customer experience as far as I'm concerned. And, that's, we usually talk very positively, but when we have the negatives, definitely just can't skirt away from it. And this is unfortunately for me, a very big negative that I just feel like really they can't handle any worse than this, to be
I will
honest.
say though, like the one thing I enjoyed about this and enjoyed about sodas was it was a really cool community of people. And I think that,
right.
about Funko collecting, like we all collect pops and we have our community around that, but there was a different group for NFTs. There was a different group for sodas, and some of them end up crossing over. Like I know people that learned about it. I remember Gus asking about NFTs, just a little while ago, and wanting to learn about them and what's going on and what's happening. I remember other people getting into it and just coming on board, but it was the same with sodas too. Like I did them from the very beginning. I remember it was in early January, February 2020 when sodas came out, because we were talking about that.
WonderCon 2020 was our first. Bless you.
Yeah, bless you. I bought the first sodas at Box Lunch. That's where my first sodas were from, because they had them at Box Lunch. I went and got them. I got 2 chases out of my first soda, and I was hooked after that. And it was the limited piece count. It was a chance at a chase, so some fun and excitement. And I mean, how many? I did at least 2 to 2.5 years of soda Saturdays. Like we did sodas every week. And Shannon and I, there's been like so many sodas we opened over time. That's not including other videos and other things that we opened sodas and did stuff with. But those kind of things, you have to you have to think about, like the same with the NFTs, doing the videos, having fun with opening with Shannon, doing the battles, you doing it with Bree and opening them, other people talking about sharing their excitement when they opened 1 pack of standard and got a grail, out of that and stuff like that. That's the things we miss, the community part of that. It's, exciting to hear like, oh, I got the limited piece drop and, got something on there, or, oh, let's speculate of like, oh, is this drop going to sell out or not? Or are you going to go after packs after? What are the epics going to be worth and all that kind of stuff? You had a lot of speculation around stuff. You had a lot of conversations. You had a community built around it. So,
a crazy thing too, Jack, and I think I mentioned it to you actually, maybe when we were talking, but believe it or not, our NFT videos are our most viewed videos over the last like 3 to 5 months. Our NFT videos, which honestly, it was not like that for a long time. And listen, our other videos are maybe not as popular either, but I mean, it's still like it showed that it was actually building. Like the excitement behind it was building. I'm not saying like whatever. It was curious to me that those were some of our better viewed videos. Like people were enjoying, that aspect of it. It definitely could have probably been built on a little bit more, much like our do you remember soda videos back in the day? And again, it just lends well for hype. It lends well for community involvement. Like there was just a lot of stuff that could be behind it. And I think we're all very, it's a different niche, like you said, Josh. And it was kind of cool to see some of the people crossing over. So if it's the end, it very is much a very sad, sad end to a really, what I said before was a really fun part of the Funko experience. It was just one more aspect that it looks like maybe we're losing, which sucks. I hope that's not the case. I hope John is right on this one, and we're going to be picking back up maybe after the first of the year or something. I don't know.
I'll say this because I told this to Joanna all the time. I said, I'm not right about a lot of things in life, but everybody was panicking and freaking out that there wasn't going to be fun days. And we had fun days. So I think we do have enough evidence here to be confident that Funko is going to give us something. NFTs could look different after this, but I think as of right now, I think they're still going to be around. I do think they're going to change. I think there's enough evidence for them to be changing. They could be different than what we've normally gotten. Just like Fun Days, we got Fun Days again. It was different than what we got in the past. Funko has changed a lot with CEOs and how they do business and everything, but they're not stupid. Like they're dumb, but they're not stupid. They know that limited pieces sell.
Let's find out. I think we're about to find out. I think
the problem with this, John, is if they do come back, so many people are just going to be out of it.
That's my point.
That's what I mean. But that's any company, and they're going to have to rely on bringing in fresh blood. It's the same thing. Like if they bring back sodas in full force, it's not going to be made up of soda collectors from back in the day. Some people will come back, but they'll have to rely on building up a new customer base. And here's the thing: if a company can build it up once, they can build it up again. If the company is, or if the product is worth it, if people like the product, they'll buy the product.
They could. I got some ideas. If they want to contact me, feel free. I got some great ideas to.
I mean, the saddest thing I have about it is Drop never sponsored me, so maybe that's the first down. Never.
Oh wait, no,
you guys got packed.
We did.
You guys.
Oh my God! Now I'm doubly sad. The only people that ever support. Oh my God, Josh, you made it so much worse for me. I've kind of forgot about that, to be honest. Nobody takes notice of us, and the one company that does looks like that's all over with. Well, son of a gun. It was fun while it lasted. I hope. I'm holding on to that little glimmer of hope. Like I said, I think it's probably false hope. And again, until something's announced, I am not selling off everything. I'm not getting rid of everything. My USDC is in there. Now, if they please don't close the thing until I transfer my USDC out. If you're going to close it, but I got my eye on a couple more grails that I got to pick up. So I got stuff. I
just sold a couple today, and then bought some other packs today. You still got about 3 months of opening packs. I mean, Disney Villains doesn't end till like mid-December, so people
I opened another pack. We opened a pack not that long ago.
Thundercats has done well. Look at that Grail; it's like $200 almost.
I'm glad I bought that one a little bit earlier.
Finally over 200 again. Like Ultron's back to like 220, and those are gonna be low count. Those Avenger ones, people forgot that's a big burn. That was a 40% burn. They're gonna be like 600 piece Grails, Ultron and so. People kind of forgot about that one, but Dungeons and Dragons, hopefully everyone got their drops today. If you want to still buy, you can still buy some on the aftermarket to get the tokens to redeem them as well too. So the snapshot happened this week, so don't forget about that. I still would be hilarious if we do get a drop tomorrow. Like I think I would.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Just and we have Supernatural coming. On September, what is it? What's the Tuesday? I was like, if it doesn't happen by this Friday, they still have, I think, one more Friday. They could wait to the 19th and introduce on the 30th a drop on a Tuesday if they do a drop. But it would be like the 23rd if it was this Friday, or the 30th is next Friday. They still have September. They could sneak one in there if they wanted to.
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
I mean, how many people do you need to manage a drop once it's already created? You think all this artwork and all that would have been already ready and done by now for September drop if they just let go of the team a week ago or 2 weeks ago? Like, all that stuff would have been ready for September, you think?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Drop never sponsored Josh or I, but Joanne and I got some surprisingly good news this week, and I would like to share it with all of you guys, because all of you guys are a big reason why it happened. But Slapshot Pops and Slapshot Bricks for the rest of 2025 are officially being sponsored by Rakuten, so the free cashback service, which is a partner with Funko. So I'm very excited to share with you guys that if you are not a member of Rakuten and it's not something you use yet, if you do sign up with our link, you'll get $50 to spend, which you could put towards, a Funko Shop order and one of these limited piece pops. So definitely take advantage of that if you guys haven't done so already. We just got word yesterday, and we're very excited and very grateful for the opportunity. So thank you guys so much.
A free big boy tomorrow.
Yeah, basically get a free big boy. Exactly. But yeah, speaking of limited piece drops, we do have the big boy tomorrow, and I wanted to kick things off with that. Josh, what do you got going on for everybody to look forward to?
Yeah, so we have a Thrill Joy video that's going to be coming out, I think tomorrow, unless I can't get it edited, but it should be tomorrow. Tomorrow or Saturday, we'll have a Thrill Joy video coming out. We also have some other mystery boxes. I think we have some Funko 411 mystery boxes to open for early next week. We do have an auction next week, just kind of a fun hangout auction. So if you want to come by, we should be also announcing our final numbers, so you guys can get our final numbers for what we're doing. Excited about all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on, what's happening. It was nice to have a little break last week after all the auction stuff and everything. We enjoyed Universal and Epic and Halloween Horror Nights and all that good stuff. So
nice. That's awesome. It was an incredible charity auction. So great job to the community once again. Vince, what do you
got? We had a video today. If you guys want to go check that one out, I think it was a pretty fun little unboxing. We actually, listen, if you want to see all the NFT Halloween NFTs, definitely go check it out, because some of them were amazing. Some of them, the glows were very disappointing. We got pictures of most of those in there, so you guys can check that out. And then we'll have videos next week. I believe we will have an auction next Tuesday. Thanks to everybody that stopped out on last Tuesday. We got some amazing stuff. The only thing I guess I'll just plug kind of is that we got some amazing stuff on our website, Pops related. If you guys want to go check those out. And other than that, guys, hug your loved ones. It's been a long week and crazy stuff is going on in the world. Hug your loved ones, enjoy the weekend, and hug one another. You know what I'm saying? Just love people.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow we actually have a really fun event. We are celebrating our 5-year anniversary on Whatnot. So if you guys aren't doing anything tomorrow night, I think we're going to start off the show around 8:30. Going to be doing a lot of giveaways. Dollar starts on everything. So pretty crazy 5 years on Whatnot already. Yeah. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support on both of our channels over the last few weeks. It's been awesome. Lots of positivity and everything. So just want to keep it up for the last quarter of the year, right? 4 months.
We're there.
Last third of the year. Yeah, I got the 4 and the 3 back mixed up. So yeah, so big event happening tomorrow, and we'll have more videos out on both channels for you guys to enjoy. So thank you guys for coming out tonight. Another great stream, and hopefully we'll get some more clarity on this NFT situation moving forward. So with that being said, have a great night, everybody. Don't stop shooting until you score, and we'll see you all very soon.
Night, y'all.